This band is so elusive and mysterious. There is nothing. They don't even have a Reddit thread devoted to them. There is nothing out there. And yet they are one of the greatest artists to rise up out of modern day death metal, in my opinion. Purulent Remains. Oh, hi there. My name's Jorge. I grew up in the 80s and I used to love getting into trouble. I have always been a friend of felines. I take my faith very seriously, attending school at a Christian college, and I've been a music fan my entire life, only recently discovering that I really like extreme metal, and I want to invite you to journey with me on my discovery of extreme metal. What is up, folks? Welcome back to A Christian Collects Death Metal. It's your pal Jorge here, back at you with another video. Thanks for stopping by. Once again, welcome back. You can always tell how successful and loved a band is just simply based off of their lack of physical media in their discography. Like, there's nothing out there to get from these guys. Not only are they elusive and mysterious, there's no information on these guys at all. We'll get into what little bit there is. But even so, all of their EPs were 3 EPs deep, 1 split, and a compilation. And everything is sold out, pretty much. I think there's a little bit of that most recent release, Abhorrent Putrefaction, which is phenomenal. That is just, oh my gosh. We'll get into that. But yeah, there's just nothing out there. This band just oozes absolute greatness. We're getting ahead of ourselves though. 2 members it consists of. We have Putrid on drums, and then we have Cadaver, I believe the main guy, handling all manner of strings and also vocals. Cadaver is part of a few other projects as well. From my research, what I can tell, it seems like they're all from Panama. And as we all know, there's a lot of great extreme metal that comes from Central America, South America. I mean, Disgorge, Mexico, right, is one. Always trying to think of a way to shoehorn those guys in. But this is just, this guy has a wide range of vocal abilities. So you'll get a lot of stuff from him. Well, some of these other bands, let me just say, you have Tumba, Horrendo, Spirit of the Deep Waters, and Equinoxio. And we have stuff ranging from traditional grindcore all the way to Black Death, doom metal, and even black metal of all things with Equinoxio. Check this out. The drumming that we get from Putrid sounds incredible. It is so good. It's so natural sounding and organic. Like, he goes off the rails at just the right times. He keeps it together when he needs to. It sounds so good. Formed back in 2022, we also got their first release, their first EP, Stages of Decomposition, that year as well. I don't know if I could show this or not, but anyway, here it is. I'll probably have to end up blurring it out. This is actually this has Fermented Death on it as well. And Fermented Death being their second EP released on 2023. So this was, I think, a Headsplit release. I had to get this from Germany, by the way. This is how hard their stuff is to find. I had to go international. I think Grindfather might have had one, but so this is essentially a compilation, right, of their first 2 EPs. But they also have another compilation, which is Worm Eaten Corpse, released in 2023, the same year as their second EP, Fermented Death. The difference in Worm Eaten Corpse compilation, as opposed to this one, it includes a song and a bonus track. I don't know why I struggled to say that, but yeah, just a track that's exclusive to that specific compilation. What I have is just simply the first 2 EPs. And then we saw a split with a grindcore band by the name of Horrible in 2024. And of course, their Purulent Remains, what they did, they call Cadaverous Decay. Great stuff. These guys right here, it's just regular short song grindcore. What you would think of as just regular grindcore, not so much gore grind, just traditional grindcore, right? And then these guys right here, it's just so incredible. And then in 2025, we have their best release to date, in my opinion, with Abhorrent Putrefaction. This is so good. And like I said, there are a few copies of this left. I would grab it before it sells out for sure. This is just beyond. And with each one of their releases, you could see a progression, right? As far as production, but also what they're doing musically. As far as being signed to a specific label, Metal Archives says that they're independent, that they're unsigned. So I'm not sure. I thought they were with Extremely Rotten, or maybe that it was like a joint effort, Extremely Rotten and also Headsplit. Hey, those two of the most exciting death metal labels around, in my opinion. They are just on a roll. Everything they release, man, is just something to salivate over. It just blows my mind, just the quality of material that some of these labels put out. It absolutely mind-blowing. So anyway, I'm not sure about these guys. Are they independent? Like Metal Archive says, you know, they've been known to make mistakes. And when I look at the releases itself, I mean, you'll see like a Headsplit logo, and we know that Headsplit usually handles like the cassette side of things, but that's not always the case. He does some vinyl as well. So I really don't know. Their new one does have both of the logos on the back. I don't think I could show any of those photos, but you can see at the bottom we have Extremely Rotten and also Headsplit. So maybe it's a joint effort. Maybe they're just handling the physical media distribution. I'm not really sure. But man, this band, if you haven't heard these, I'm going to play you a couple clips from each EP just to kind of give you an idea of what these guys sound like. If you're not familiar, but I'm assuming that you already are. It's crazy because the first EP, Stages of Decomposition, is such a trash can, dog crap production. It is so abhorrently bad. It's almost offensive how bad the production is on that first EP, and yet that really adds quite a bit of charm to it. It makes it so unique. Let's go ahead and check out that right now. That production is just horrendous, and it somehow just really adds something special to that specific release. We could see quite an upgrade in production when we get to their second EP, Fermented Death. Let's go ahead and check out a clip of that right now. The sound production on the second one is just leaps and bounds beyond as far as quality, you know, compared over against their first EP. And I like this sound, you know. And let's just go ahead and touch on the signature sound of Purulent Remains, because they have their own voice. It's just not these guys aren't your everyday sort of random death metal band. Low gutturals, you know, heavy chugs, maybe it goes off the rails here and there. These guys are focused around, I mean, they are very much underground, rough, raw death metal. There is a grind element. There are parts that sound very grindy, especially as it relates to that rough production. The vocal display from Cadaver, it's kind of oddly all over the place. for the most part, I guess, maybe that's not accurate. For the most part, it's low gutturals, but he's doing some screaming type stuff, just some really odd stuff. And as far as music, they have these weird little flourishes that they add to their songs. In each one of their EPs, they have this organ sound, and it's I assume that it's, you know, synthesizer, right, making it producing this organ sound. I could be wrong, it could be a traditional organ, but that organ sound is present in each and every one of their EPs so far. Maybe not in every song, but it's there in each one of their releases at some form, and it really sounds like some dark, dank castle, like dungeon feel to it. Not dungeon synth by any stretch. It just feels like a dank, dark, horror movie inspired castle dungeon or something. It's really odd. It's a unique thing that's you know, I'm glad to see them continue to do that on each EP as well. And man, just the guitars, dude. Cadaver is so good. Let me just play a clip from their most recent Abhorrent Putrefaction and just listen to the strings on this. Some of the gnarliest sounding death metal that I've heard. Dude, like I said, it's death metal to get excited about. I mean, I'm so ready to see a full length from these guys. Like, I just can't wait. And you know it's coming too, right? Because all we got's all these EPs, man. These 7 inches, these compilations. It's time. I guarantee their next drop will be a full length. I hope so. I really hope so. Because I'm so excited to see what they do with, you know, a full length's worth of time on a record. I think it would be something to see, it could be later this year, maybe next year, who knows. But anyway, as far as their split with Horrible, like I said, this is just, you know, they contribute 2 songs, whereas I think there's like 5 or 6 from these guys. But being short grindcore, right, it just goes so quick. They're over in under a minute as far as these guys, except for the final track. And it's a good listen. If you're into grindcore, check this out for sure. But the 2 tracks from Purulent Remains, just that, you know, and here's what I was thinking too. It's just death metal that sounds authentic. You know, when I think of death metal, what it should sound like, it's these guys would be representative of that. It is such a dark sound. You can't comprehend anything as far as vocals, lyrics. When I can understand lyrics to a song, that takes away an inhuman element. You know, death metal should be an inhuman, not inhumane, but just otherly, otherworldly, not non-human, right? And so, for me personally, and there are a few exceptions, right? Some of that screamy type death, Morbid Angel would be one, maybe a more contemporary would be Gutless, where you could understand what they're saying, but they kind of get a pass because it works for that material. But for the most part, I want this to sound like a monstrosity. I want my death metal to sound like a death metal, a monstrosity. And I'm going to play you just a quick clip of a section of their newest EP where it features that organ sound. So most of you are already familiar, but on the off chance that somebody is not, this is what we're talking about when we hear this organ sound in their music. It's present in every EP. Let's see. Alright guys, there you have it. There's not much else more to say. There's no information on this band, and I think that's what makes it, you know, that really does something for a project or an artist. is when they can refrain from social media. Even if you do have a social media presence, there's quietness. There's not a lot happening. I think that just adds to the allure. These guys don't have none at all, as far as I could tell. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I can't find them anywhere. Nobody, there's just nothing on these guys. No live performances, nothing. It's honestly crazy. And yet, like I said, they're beloved by all, cherished. Cannot wait to see what they do with the upcoming full length. I hope that, we're all speaking this into existence and that they are working on a debut album. I think it would just be the best, just the best thing. I don't know where I was going with that, but I know that this EP will definitely be probably EP of the year for me. There's a few. I got like 10 or 12 that I'm looking at right now, and it's just, the year's not even done yet, and where to place everything, but this is a very high contender for top 3 at least, probably number 1 if I'm being honest. But anyway, there you go. Let me know in the comments exactly what you think. Have you heard this band? Do you like them? Do you care for the production? Do you wish they did something different? Maybe, let us know in the comments below. Jorge, a Christian who collects death metal, signing off. Be blessed.